Hello everybody and welcome to another video. This time I'm on Sir Plotslot's channel. If you don't know me, I am NoahStorys. I do what ifs on YouTube. You'll probably find a link to my channel somewhere in this video. This is actually a collaboration we're doing. He has a video on my channel if you want to go check it out. He's starting one of his new series over there, and I'm starting one here. This time it's What If Midoriya Was Quirkless. If you like it, you can always subscribe to my channel or to his. I mean, it's basically your choice. You can always go check out some of his other videos. And if you want more, let us know by either hitting that like button or saying so in the comments below if you want us to start a more serious collaboration or something. I don't know, I can't speak for him. Yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get into the video. As always, Midoriya is born on July 15th. This birth is totally ordinary. Midoriya's life progresses normally as the regular version of events. Midoriya is bullied for being quirkless and constantly attacked for it. As always, Midoriya admires heroes. He looks up to them, wanting to be one himself, but he constantly discouraged by others because he doesn't have a quirk. One day while looking online, Midoriya finds out about a hero, a vigilante in Naruhara, Japan, one known as Knuckle Duster. Seeing that there is a hero out there that doesn't have a quirk, even if it isn't an official one, inspires Midoriya. So he starts training and practicing in order to become stronger. Still trains his mind and thinking that he won't get far with only physical strength and power. So he decides to start investing in gadgets and technology, since people will laugh at him and bully him further. He does this all in private. Midoriya may be trying to become a hero, but to him you can become a hero. Eventually we reach the present day in U.A High. The teacher says, "So as third year students, it's time to start thinking seriously about your future and what you want to do with your lives. I could pass out some career aptitude tests, but..." The teacher throws all the papers into the air and continues, "Why bother? I know you all want to be switched to the hero track." The whole class raises their hands and starts cheering while using their quirks, except Midoriya, who is sticking close to the desk writing about Mount Lady and some gadget designs and ideas in his notebook while raising his hand. The teacher then calms them down, saying, yes, you all have some very impressive quirks, but no quirk usage allowed at school. Get a hold of yourselves. Baku says, "Hey teach, don't lump me in with this bunch of losers. I'm the real deal, but these guys will be lucky if they end up to some busted D-lister." Baku laughs. The class starts screaming in outrage at him. One of the students says, "Do you think you're better than us, Katsuki?" Baku says, "Bring it on." The teacher looks at his forms and says, "Huh, you got some very impressive test results. Maybe you will get into U.A High." A random student says, "He's going to try for the national school?" Another one says, "That only has a 0.2 acceptance rate. It's impossible to get in." Baku jumps on his desk and says, "That's exactly why it's the only place worthy of me. After all, I aced all the mock tests. I'm the only one at this school who stands a chance at getting to UA." The teacher says, "Midoriya, don't you want to go to UA too?" Baku turns to him and starts laughing. Things still go pretty much the same, with Bakugo blowing up his notebook and throwing it out the window. Midoriya picks up the notebook and gets on his way home. This time around he takes a slightly longer route, wanting to pass by a store to buy some materials and weapons and stuff. Once he gets home, he looks at his calendar and sees that the UA entrance exam is only 10 months away. He says, "Huh, only 10 months. I guess I need to start training and researching more seriously." He spends the next 10 months training, gathering further information on heroes and adopting a bunch of fighting styles and weapons from different heroes, like the Erasure heroes, Binding Cloth, Gunhead's martial arts, and many other things. Eventually, February 24th arrives, the day of the UA entrance exam. Midoriya, having sent in all the necessary forms and having all of his stuff together, gets ready to head to UA. On his way there, he researches what the entrance exam is usually like and starts coming up with strategies. He reaches U.A High and steps through the gates. He stops for a moment and takes everything in. He says, I'm at U.A High, the place all my favorite heroes went to. I need to pass, I need to go here. Bakugo bumps into him and says, out of the way, you quirkless wannabe. What are you even doing here? I thought I told you not to even apply. Midoriya says, you know, I won't just do whatever you tell me. I have my own goals and ambitions. Midoriya, with a bit of a confidence, keeps going, entering the UA building, going to the main hall. And there, President Mike explains the whole exercise. He welcomes the UA candidates and everything goes as normal. A couple of minutes later, Midoriya finds himself just outside the Battle Center B. He's wearing a jumpsuit pretty much the same that he wears in the regular version of events. This time he is also wearing some binding cloth on top of it. He has a backpack which contains jackets, a lot of smaller pouches and whatnot. He also has a belt which contains a grappling hook, a couple of shurikens, and a lot of other smaller devices. Midoriya starts stretching and gets ready to start running. People look at him wondering what's he doing. Then President Mike shouts, right, let's start! There are no countdowns in real battle. The moment President Mike said this, Midoriya starts running because he knew what was going to happen. He just started running, leaving many behind him, although many catch up to him quickly. Midoriya steps into the battlefield and throws a shuriken with perfect aim at a 2-point robot, hitting him on the neck, severing a cable which is responsible for the robot's vision. Midoriya thinks that's a 2-pointer, meaning it has high defense capabilities and decent attack, but it can't see me coming. Then there is nothing it can do. Midoriya gets in close and pulls the switch, turning it off. He then continues on his path. He approaches a student robot. Behind him, a 1-point robot attacks. Midoriya shoots out his binding scarf, hitting the wheel, making the robot spin and fall, breaking the 1-point robot, causing it to crash, which gives Midoriya a point. Midoriya spends the rest of the match taking on these robots in a very strategic sense. He turns them off or attacks them in precise points with his gadgets. He mostly focuses on the 1- and 2-point villains, as those are the easiest for him to take down, but also destroys one 3-pointer. There are only 2 minutes left on the clock. This time around, the 0-point robot appears as always. Midoriya thinks that's the 0-point robot and might as well just ignore it. He gets ready to run away when he hears a scream. He turns and reflexively starts running, seeing a girl trapped under some rubble. He grabs something out of his backpack and thinks, I only have one of these, might as well make it count. He activates the device and using the binding scarf propels it at the 0 where it goes off. It was an electromagnetic pulse generator. It doesn't have much power though. Midoriya thinks, this will only buy me a minute at most. That device could maybe take care of 3-point robots if used correctly, if they bunch together. But with the size of that thing, I doubt it will be offline for long. He reaches for Uraraka and while getting some smaller pieces of rubble asks, are you okay? Uraraka is in pain and asks, what are you doing here? The 0-pointer. Midoriya interrupts her, it's offline for a bit, thanks to something I brought with me. But we don't have much time. Can you move? Uraraka says, yeah, I just sprained my ankle. Midoriya thinks, what can we do about the rubble though? Uraraka touches the rubble, making it float. Midoriya looks in awe at this ability and thinks of ways to use it. He quickly snaps back into reality, grabbing Uraraka and helping her out. The 0-pointer then resumes its destruction, but Midoriya managed to get sufficient distance. The exercise ends. Midoriya mutters, okay, I should have gotten about 29 points if I counted right. The good news is that I aced the written portion, so if I want to get into UA, general studies or even support might be an option for me. But I should still go the other school's entrance exams if I want to go to the hero course if possible. Midoriya then heads home and prepares for the next few exams. The next week passes. He goes to 3 more exams for a couple of hero courses in other schools in order to achieve his dream. One night, while Midoriya is researching online about heroes, his mom knocks on the door. She runs in, stumbling and falling to the ground, and says, Izuku, they're here! The letters from the schools are here! Midoriya smiles. He He helps his mom up and grabs the letters. He says, "Thanks, Mom." He then closes the door and goes to his desk. He opens the first letter from the Isamu Academy. He reads it, mumbling out loud, "Your results impressive, no quirk, entrance denied." He grabs the second letter from Seijing High School. He reads through it and sets it down disappointed. He grabs a third letter, reads through it and again sets it down, being disappointed because he didn't get in. He grabs his last letter from U.A and opens it, only to find a holodesk. Midoriya sets it down, being very nervous. A hologram screen appears in which All Might appears. Midoriya thinks, "So cool, it's actually All Might!" All Might says, "I am here to present the results of the entrance exam." Midoriya thinks, "Just rip the band-aid off. I'm Quirkless. There's no way you will accept me." All Might continues, "Congratulations. In the entrance exam, you accumulated 29 combat points. Normally, this wouldn't be enough to enter the school." Midoriya thinks, "I knew it." All Might continues, "But luckily, there are other parameters to this exam. The fact that it's a hero course means that we also have rescue points. Helping the girl escape from the 0-point robot gave you 17 rescue points. Combined with your helping other people, you got a total of 27 rescue points and 29 combat points. You may be on the lower end of the spectrum, but congratulations, young man. Welcome to UA's hero course. Honestly, after looking at your forms, I'm really impressed. I didn't expect you to be quirkless. Remarkable, young man." Somebody says something from All Might to All Might from off screen, and he asks, "Wait, I have to do how many of these?" Turns to Inzuku and says, "Well, that's all I've got for you. Congratulations, young man." Midoriya is very excited to have go on. Midoriya gets bullied more than normal by Bakugo, but is fed up, so while Bakugo shoots a right hook at Midoriya, Midoriya catches it, flipping Bakugo on his back and pinning him to the ground. Midoriya says, I would suggest you stop this childish nonsense. You're talented, we get it, but you need to understand that you aren't the only one, especially at UA. I got in. Get over it. I trained a lot harder than you and took me a lot more work. Don't be so childish and accept it for... Midoriya then lets him go and walks off, pissing Bakugo off. Midoriya spends his free time coming up with some more designs and stuff to send in, designing his costume and many other things, sending in the registration. Eventually, the first day at UA arrives. Midoriya gets ready to leave for school, tying his shoes, but before he can leave, his mom asks, Izuku, you packed everything, right? Midoriya says, yeah, I did. Midoriya is about to leave and his mom says, I'm very proud of you, Izuku. Midoriya smiles and says, I'll see you later, Mom. He then leaves for his first day at UA. A while later, Midoriya walks through the halls having researched the layout of the school. He walks quickly and directly to his class. Midoriya finds a gigantuous door. Looking at it for a moment, he wonders who is in his class. He then opens the door and finds the usual scene playing out between Bakugo and Ida. After the argument ends, Bakugo scoffs and leans back, noticing Midoriya, who is standing next to the door, and Bakugo intensely stares at him in anger. Ida looks at where Bakugo is looking, seeing Midoriya. He ignores him and goes back to Bakugo. Midoriya walks to his desk, setting his backpack down and sitting on his desk. Uraka walks up to Midoriya and says, Hey, I recognize you! I'm so glad you passed the practical exam. Thanks for the help, by the way. Midoriya says, no problem. Uraka says, so, what do you think we're going to do today? Besides orientation, I mean. I wonder what our teachers are like. I can't wait to meet them. Midoriya answers, I'm pretty sure. Aizawa comes into the door, interrupting them. Everyone quiets down and looks at him weirded out. Aizawa says, it took you 4 seconds to quiet down. Not bad. Time is precious and important. Keep that in mind. Welcome to UA's hero course. Everyone stares at Aizawa, wondering who he is. Aizawa says, right, let's get to it. He grabs a sports uniform from his sleeping bag and says, put these on and meet me outside. little later in the PE grounds, Aizawa informs the students that they will be doing a quirk assessment test. Orientation, we're gonna miss it. Aizawa says that orientation is basically useless. The class is a bit surprised at his statements, but Aizawa turns to them and says, "You have been taking standardized tests all of your lives, but you've never got to use your quirks in physical exams before. The country's still trying to pretend we're all created equal by not letting those with the most power excel. It's not rational. One day the Ministry of Education will learn." Aizawa turns to Bakugo and says, "Bakugo, you managed to get the most points in the entire entrance exam. What was your farthest softball throw in middle school?" Bakugo answers, 67 meters, I think. Aizawa tells Bakugo to use his quirk and this time and gives him a softball. Bakugo throws the ball and, backed by a huge explosion, it reaches 705.2 meters. The class gets very excited. Aizawa says, "All you need to know your maximum. It's the most rational way of figuring out your potential as a pro hero." Aizawa then shows the score. Kaminari says, 705.2 meters? Are you kidding me? How are we supposed to beat that? Mina says, "I want to go, that looks like fun." Zero says, "Nice, we get to use our quirks as much as we want." Aizawa says, "So this looks like fun, huh? You have 3 years to become a hero. You think it's all going to be fun and games and playtime? Idiots. Today you'll compete in 8 physical tests to determine your potential. Whoever comes in last will be expelled, effective immediately." And the whole class gets scared at this statement. Uraraka says, "It isn't fair. Even if it wasn't the first day, you can't just expel us. We worked hard to get here." Aizawa says, "Oh, and natural disasters are, or power-hungry villains, or catastrophic accidents? No, the world is full of unfairness. It's a hero's job to combat that unfairness. If you want to be a pro, you're going to have to push yourself to the brink for the next 3 years. For the next 3 years, UA will throw one terrible hardship after another at you. So go beyond, plus ultra style. Show me it's no mistake that you're here." Midoriya raises his hand and says, "Excuse me, sir, but I find this highly logical, especially for you. You should know that many quirks aren't suited for physical exercises. That includes your erasure." Aizawa smirks and says, the Quirkless one shares his thoughts. "You're right, but still, knowing what you're capable of is important." Midoriya says, "But still, expelling the one with the lowest scores is illogical." Aizawa asks, "Do you want to be expelled?" Midoriya nods his head no. Aizawa says, "Then don't question my judgment." The first test they do is the 50-meter dash. Midoriya does the best he can, pushing himself to the limit. He manages to finish it in 6.49 seconds. Next is the strength grip test. Midoriya, doing his best, manages to score 62.7 kilograms. After that, the sandbox, where Midoriya reaches 5.4 meters. The next test is the repeated sidestep jumps. After that, it's the distance run test. Midoriya managed to do very well, having practiced his endurance a lot. Then the seated toe touch, and last the sit-ups. The tests are done, and Aizawa combines the scores and shows them to the class. In this version of events, like in the main continuity, Midoriya ends up last. After the rankings are shown, Aizawa says, "And as for who's going home, Izuku Midoriya, go to the principal's office. You're hereby expelled, effective immediately." He cries out in outrage, and Midoriya says, "It's fine, I should have expected this. I mean, I am Quirkless after all. I can't expect to get far in a hero course." Bakugo laughs and says, "Everything is right with the world again." Aizawa leaves and says, "The rest of you go pick up a syllabus before heading home." Midoriya goes to Nezu's office, where he is officially expelled. While leaving to go home, he runs into Aizawa. Midoriya keeps walking and Aizawa stops him. Aizawa says, "Midoriya, you showed great resolve and potential in the entrance exam. I'm officially re-enrolling you." Midoriya looks at Aizawa confused, and Aizawa says, "The path you're choosing is a hard one, filled with hardship after hardship. I expelled you to teach you that." If you don't do your best and even go over your limits, you'll only get yourself killed. That's why I'm trying to teach you here. Especially since we aren't all equals. You're beneath everyone. So try to get on their level. Aizawa hands a slip to Midoriya and says, "Go hand that to the principal." After getting re-enrolled, Midoriya heads home with his head held high. On the way, Kirishima passes by him and says, "Sorry about that today, Midoriya. Hope everything turns out right for you." Midoriya says it's fine. Others pass by him and wish him luck. And Uraka sees him on the way home and catches up to him, saying, "Hey, wait up!" Midoriya turns until she catches up. She says, "Oh, hey, you Uraka?" Uraka says, "Hey, you remember my name?" Midoriya says, "Of course. My mind is a steel trap." Uraka says, "Your name is Deku, right? Deku Midoriya?" Midoriya says, "Actually, my name is Izuku." Uraka looks at him confused. Midoriya continues, "Deku is an insult Baku came up with when we were kids. It's a short for defenseless Izuku." Uraka asks, "Are you going to the station?" Midoriya nods. Uraka says, "Let's go together then." Midoriya says, "Okay." On the way, Uraka says, "Sorry about them getting you expelled." Midoriya says, "It's fine. I got re-enrolled anyway." Uraka asks, "What?" Midoriya says, "It was just to teach me a lesson about death or something. Apparently Mr. Aizawa did this to a whole class once." The two of them continue to the station, unaware of the trials ahead. Anyway, that's where I'm leaving now for today. I do hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. If you're new, you can also subscribe to help out the channel. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And that's it for me for today. So until next time, everybody, have an absolutely fantastic day.